Okay, we're going to look at the profit maximizing output level and how we get there, but we have to start with a few vocab words. So marginal revenue is the first thing I want to talk about. Marginal means additional, revenue means how much money we have coming in. So what you can actually put here, this is the selling price of the product. So if you are selling CDs for $20 a piece, if you sell one, your total revenue is $20. It's the price times the quantity. Well, if I sell one more, what is the marginal revenue or the additional revenue that I get from selling one more CD at $20? It's $20. If I sell another one at $20, the marginal or the additional revenue that I bring in is $20. So marginal revenue is just the additional revenue that you make when you sell one more unit. You need to put down in your notes, this is the selling price of the product. So anytime you have a marginal revenue column for this class, the marginal revenue is going to be exactly the same. So you can take that number and on your chart and just, it's the same exact because that's the selling price. Your total revenue is price times quantity. Another way you're going to see that is your output, which is your quantity, and your marginal times your marginal revenue, which is price. So total revenue is price times quantity, but sometimes you will also see marginal revenue times output. So put both of those down there because you're going to see both. And actually on the chart we're going to use the marginal revenue and the output. Profits, we just have to take our total revenue that we have coming in, and then we have to subtract our total costs. So profit is total revenue minus your total cost. So we're going to come down here and look at this chart real quick. I'm going to do a few of them with you, and what I want you to do is then stop the video and then fill out the rest of the columns to see if you know what you're doing, and then I'll scroll up and you can see what the answers are. But first we're going to go through some of these. Fixed costs. I don't have anything in this fixed cost column because I want you to understand that when we make zero, you have a cost of $350, your total cost, and we get that from doing your fixed cost plus your variable cost. So if you're not making anything, you don't have any variable cost, but you will still have your fixed cost, just like we did in the typing activity. Even if I typed zero, I still had the cost of the machine, and that's my fixed cost. So you can always find your fixed cost if you go over and see what is my total cost at zero. I have nothing here, so that means that my fixed costs are $350, and you can take and put that number all the way down, or you can draw an arrow, I don't care, but you're going to have to add across to get your total cost column. So 350 all the way down. So then what you're going to do to get your total cost is to take the number that you have in your fixed cost column plus your variable cost, and that's going to give you your total cost. So if these are all 350, you're going to take 350 plus 10 gives you 360, 350 plus 30 gives you 380, and once again just go ahead and continue all the way down and fill that whole entire cost column out. So just stop your computer and fill that out. Marginal cost. This is your change in cost. Remember, marginal means additional. So when I make zero, I have a cost of $350. When I make 1, I have a cost of $360. So what is that additional cost that I have by making that first one? So $360 minus $350, we have an additional cost of that first one is 10. 1 is costing me $360, 2 is $380, so we have an additional cost for just that second one of 20. And then whatever these numbers are, you're just going to see what the difference is, how much more to make just that next one. So then go ahead and fill this column out. Marginal revenue. Marginal revenue is your selling price. And actually, I'm going to type that in here, selling price. So when actually I can get rid of this. Let's put this down here. It makes more sense. All right, if I'm selling zero, my marginal revenue is zero. I don't have anything coming in. So if I sell one at $92, if I sell another one for $92, my additional revenue, is $92. If I sell a third one for $92, the additional revenue is $92. And so you can take and bring $92 all the way down. So total revenue is your marginal revenue or your selling price times your output, which is also your quantity. All right, so price times quantity gives you how much revenue you have coming in. If I sell 0, I'm not bringing anything in. If I sell 1, I have $92 coming in. If I sell 2, 92 times 2 is 184. I have $184 coming in, and then continue on down there. 3 times 92, 4 times 92, 5 times 92. This gives you your total revenue of how much you have coming in. Your total profits, when I sell 0, my profits aren't 0. I still have costs. So if I take my total revenue, which is how much I have coming in at 0, and how much I have going out at 0, my profits are actually negative $350 because I still have to pay this. And so if I am selling 1 at $92 and I subtract my cost of making 1 of $360, I'm now at negative $268. So you have to take the total revenue, $184, subtract your total cost of $380, and so now I'm losing $190. Oops, let's put this down here. $196. And so just continue to go down. Put this number in first. How much I have coming in, subtract from your cost column, and then you will get these numbers all the way down. So take a few moments, fill this out, and then start your computer again. I'm just going to scroll down, show you what all the answers are. Compare your answers with my answers and see what you got. So, what are your fixed costs? And once again, our fixed costs are going to be $350. I'm not going to type these in, you can do that yourself. So $350, how did we get that number? Because this column was blank, but at 0, we had 0 variable costs, but we had total costs of $350. So we're going to add these two columns so we know that every number in here, $350 of this total cost is fixed cost. What level of output would our profits be maximized? So we can come over here to our profit column, and we're going to see that at an output of 9, our profits are maximized. So you can put that down there. And there are 2 ways that we know that this is true, and I am going to write this down. We're going to look at our profit column. And in our profit column, our profits are $9. And actually, all right. Hang on, I'll get this straight in a minute. So our profit column, our profits of $28 are highest at an output of 9 units. The other way we're going to see this, because sometimes as you're going through this, you're going to come across where your profits are exactly the same for 2 different output levels. So if you have a situation where this was 28 and this was 28, what we have to do is come over and look at our marginal cost and our marginal revenue column. So we are going to do this up to the point where our marginal revenue is either equal to or your marginal revenue is going to be a little bit more than your costs. So in this case, our marginal revenue at 9 is $92. And our marginal cost is $90. Now, like I said, sometimes it will be that your marginal revenue is 92 and your marginal costs are going to be 92. That is ideal. We want it up to the point where they're equal. But if you don't have any that are equal, you cannot go on to the next one because you do not want to operate where your costs are greater than your revenues. You want to bring more money in than you're paying out. So how do we calculate total cost? Fixed plus variable equals total cost. How do you calculate marginal cost? We're looking at the change or the additional cost of producing 1 more unit. So what is the additional cost of producing one more unit. I'm not going to give you a formula because I don't want some of you are going to get all messed up with that. You've been doing fine by looking at this one. How much more is this than that? So just look and see what the additional cost is or what the additional revenue, and that's both of those right there. So how do we calculate total revenue? It's price times quantity, or your marginal revenue times your output.